Hey guys, it's Miss Denton, and I'm back with another book for you. This book is called Why Do I Have To? I'm going to read the back cover for you. Solid science. When you're a kid, you're bound to hear do this and don't do that on a daily basis. Do you ever wonder about the whys behind all those do's and don'ts? It turns out there are solid scientific reasons behind the things grown-ups say. Well, behind most of them at least. In our book, we also have a table of contents. It breaks down what each section is going to be about. So your first section is going to be the whys behind the have-tos. The do, I have to eat breakfast. Or why can't I eat food I dropped on the floor? Why do I have to stand up and sit up straight? Why can't I swim after eating? Why do I have to turn down my music? Why do I have to go to bed so early? Science rules, you don't always have to. And there's also a glossary in this book. The whys behind the have-tos. Unless you're being raised by wolves, you'll likely hear a lot of rules as you grow up. If you're like most kids, you probably spend a lot of time wondering, why? Why do I have to do this? Why can't I do that? Maybe you've asked this question aloud from time to time. Maybe you got the answer because I said so. Maybe you think that means there's no good reason at all. Not that because I said so isn't a perfectly good reason. More likely there's a good reason, a solid scientific one. The trouble is adults don't always have time to sit down and explain it. Or maybe you haven't asked. This book is here to do the explaining. Why do I have to eat breakfast? Breakfast is probably the first have-to you face each morning. That is, unless someone also has to tell you to get up out of bed. Sometimes you might be hungry at 7 a.m. Other times you might not. At those times, a bowl of cereal might look as appealing as an old shoe. But you're still told you need to eat breakfast. It's the most important meal of the day. Is breakfast really all that necessary? Yup. Studies show that skipping breakfast can make a huge difference in your day, and not the good kind of difference. Scientific research provides plenty of evidence that kids who say no to the morning meal make more mistakes in schoolwork, get lower test scores, and have a harder time remembering information. In one study, researchers read a series of numbers out loud, 4, 5, 9, 7, and so on, and asked the kids to repeat them. They also asked the kids to name all the animals they could in 1 minute. Kids who ate breakfast did much better on these tests than non-breakfast eaters did. Non-breakfast eaters also tend to go to the principal's office more than often, and not because the principal wants to congratulate them. A lack of breakfast is linked to bad behavior. Breakfast doesn't help you just in the classroom. It boosts your energy for all kinds of activities. Want to hit a home run? Kick the winning goal? Or do 12 backflips in a row? Eat breakfast first. Here's why the morning meal is so important. During the night, your body fasts, or goes without food. Breakfast breaks the fast, giving your body a fresh supply of nutrients or body fuel. Morning munchies. If your breakfast cereal really tastes like an old shoe, you might want to try a different brand or think outside the cereal box. Breakfast doesn't have to be breakfast food. It can be anything that gives you a good balance of protein and whole grain carbohydrates, like whole wheat bread or waffles. Try peanut butter on toast, or make things even simpler. How about some cold pizza? Yes, that's right. Pizza and other dinner leftovers can be a-okay for breakfast. Fun fact. Even though breakfast eaters consume more calories each day, they are less likely to be overweight than non-breakfast eaters. Better start eating my breakfast every day. Why can't I eat food I dropped on the floor? Now you're convinced you need to eat breakfast, and it just so happens there's leftover pizza in the fridge. You reach for a slice, but since you still have sleep, your slice misses the plate and drops to the floor. You reach down to grab it and put it back on the plate. No harm done. Then you hear, "Oh, no you don't. Throw that out right now." But why? The pizza slice was on the floor for maybe 5 seconds. You never eat food that had been on the floor for, say, a week. But what about 5-second rules? Germs can't get to your food, especially food you really want to eat faster than that, right? Wrong. A recent scientific study demonstrates that it's not how long your food sits on the floor that counts. What matters is how long germs have been on the floor. Is there fresh germs on your floor? Your cold pizza will be covered in them on contact. That means in 1,000th of a second, not 5 seconds. If you want to stay healthy, you have to assume that there are fresh germs on your floor since you have no way to prove otherwise, unless there are people in lab coats living in your house ready to measure such things. There is a little good news here. However, if you drop that pizza slice on carpet, it won't pick up as many germs as it would on wood or tile floor. That doesn't mean you should pick up the pizza and eat it, though. It'll probably be covered in fuzzy stuff anyway. Fun fact. The average floor, no matter how clean it looks, may contain as many as 8,000 germs per square inch. Share this one with adults in your life. Eating food you drop in the kitchen sink is even worse than eating food you dropped on the floor. The average sink may contain as many as 17,000 germs per square inch. Why do I have to stand up or sit up straight? You've thrown out that slice of cold pizza. Now you're hunched over a bowl of oatmeal, minding your own business when you hear, "Sit up straight." This is followed by a please and a smile. You smile back, but you scowl on the inside thinking, can I ever just relax? It seems as soon as you're out of diapers, you start hearing, "Stand up straight. Don't slouch in your seat." What's so wrong with a little slumping? Plenty, as it turns out. Slouching doesn't just make you look like, well, a slouch. It's also bad for your body. When you sit or stand up straight, you keep your body strong. Your core, the center of your body, gets stronger too. That in turn makes your whole body stronger. According to several studies, there are mental benefits to keeping that spine straight too. It helps you focus and think better. That's because when your spine is erect, blood can flow more easily from your body to your brain. It has a straight path. Slouching slows things down, like a bump in the road. And one more thing, slouching doesn't really make you look cool. It makes you look defeated. Is that how you want to look? No, of course not. You want to look powerful, confident, and mighty as an oak tree. So test your backbone. Here's proof that a strong back is the best back. Set a timer for 5 minutes. Sit in a chair. Leaning against the back of the chair, do your best to slouch. Pay attention to your breathing and notice if your mind starts to wander. Time's up. Now do the same thing, but sit up straight without leaning against the back of the chair. If your back and core are weak, you'll be a little bit uncomfortable during the sit straight portion of this test. But you may notice that your mind wanders less and your breathing is more regular. Why can't I swim after eating? It's a hot Saturday. You just finished breakfast and you sat straight as a stick through every bite. Now you want to dash down to the street and jump in the neighbor's pool. Hold on. You can't go swimming for an hour, says the voice of reason. But I'm hot, and all my friends are there now, you reply. The voice of reason folds his arms. Do you want to drown? He asks. For real. If you swim too soon after eating, you might get cramps. Cramps can stop you from moving, which is not good in the water. Here's a scientific reason why it can happen. If you swim after eating, your body tries to do 2 things at once. Use energy for exercise and use energy to digest your food. Blood must flow to your muscles to keep them moving. Blood must also flow to your stomach to help it digest. Your muscles and your digestive system will be fighting for blood to help them do their jobs. Neither will get enough. That's when muscles in your body may begin to cramp. Lifeguard alert. So just wait an hour before you jump in the pool, okay? Why do I have to turn down my music? You've had a long day and all you want to do is chill in your room with some nice, relaxing music, blasting at ear-splitting level. Turn that down. You're going to lose your hearing, someone yells. Why can't adults understand that good music is loud music? You decide to put on your headphones. A minute later, someone peers through the door. I can hear that music blasting even through your headphones. If you don't turn it down, that may be the last thing you ever hear. Fun facts. Headphones, earphones, earbuds, listening to loud music through these can cause ear damage. When you listen through speakers, some of the sound is absorbed into the air. But with headphones and their relatives, all the sound goes directly into your ear. Well, not quite. You're not likely to lose your hearing forever if you listen to some very loud for a short time. But the grown-ups in your life are right to be concerned. It is a scientific fact that loud music can cause short-term hearing loss. And if you keep blasting the tunes for years, you really can lose your hearing. Maybe you think there's no such thing as too loud, but your ears, if you ask them, would disagree. Ears are super sensitive. Rock and hip-hop musicians know this. That's why they protect their ears with special earplugs when they play. Construction workers and other people who work in loud places also protect their ears. The earplugs don't block out sound completely, but they keep it at a safe level. Unfortunately, people didn't know about the dangers of loud sounds for a long time, and many musicians damage their hearing. Don't let this happen to you. Be smart and turn down the tunes. Fun fact, the average rock concert is as loud as a thunderbolt, but lasts a lot longer. Why do I have to go to bed so early? It's 9 p.m. and you've just gotten to the really good part of your book, or your video game, or your conversation with your dog. Just then, you hear, "Time for bed." As usual, you reply, "But I'm not even tired." As usual, you hear, "You need your sleep." As usual, you reply, "But," as usual, you hear, "No buts, go to bed now." Why do grown-ups have to make such a big deal about bedtime? Because sleep is super important, that's why. According to many scientific studies, when you don't get enough sleep, both your body and your mind suffer. You'll feel tired and cranky the next day, and you may bang into random walls. You'll probably have trouble remembering things too. So even if you study for a test, you may miss half the answers. If you get too little sleep, your health can suffer too. Research has shown that a lack of sleep can weaken your immune system, that your body defenses against sickness. And scientists have also found that if you make a habit of staying up late, you may not grow as fast as a kid who gets a full night's sleep. So turn out the lights, okay? Science rules. Now you know the whys, that is, the scientific facts behind a bunch of have-tos. This is a short book, so we left out maybe 100 or so, but you can assume that when adults tell you to do something, it's not just because, A, they're planning to eat that cold slice of pizza when you're not looking. No comment. Or B, they hate your music, though they may. Or C, they just think it's their job to tell you to do and not to do stuff all day long, though it sort of is their jobs. Yes, so adults in your life can sometimes really bug you, but part of their job is to know what is best for you. And there really are solid scientific reasons to back up most of their rules, as annoying as the rules may be. You don't always have to. As you've been learning, there are solid scientific reasons behind most things adults tell you to do. But note the word most. Some of the rules you may hear are based on myths. Yep, that means they are nothing to do with reality. Nobody's trying to fool you. It's just that a lot of health advice have been around for hundreds of years, and people tend to believe that advice just because it's old. The grown-ups in your life heard it from their parents, who heard it from their parents before them. So everyone assumes it must be true. Wrong. Here are a few do's and don'ts based on solid misinformation. Number 1, bundle up before you go out in the cold. This rule is based on the idea that cold weather can make you sick. It can't. Study shows that people who get chilled outdoors are not any likelier to get sick than those who stay warm and cozy indoors. In fact, people who get sick more in winter because they're inside more and germs can spread more easily indoors. After all, it's people who spread germs, not cold. So if you're playing basketball in your giant puffer jacket while your body heats up, there are no harm in taking off the jacket for a few free throws. You won't be instantly struck with the flu. We're not talking about extreme cold weather conditions, 20 degrees or freezing or more. Extreme cold can give you frostbite. Number 2, never swallow your gum. There's no good reason to swallow gum. It's definitely not a part of a healthy diet, but sometimes swallowing happens. When it does, you may panic for a moment. Didn't someone once tell you that gum stays in your digestive system for 7 years? That doesn't sound like a good thing. Rest easy. Your digestive system can handle a stray wad of gum now and then. It can digest or break down all of but one of the substances in gum. The last substance comes out of your body as waste. Don't cross your eyes. Unlike swallowing your gum, crossing your eyes is something you do sometimes on purpose. Maybe you want to freak out a little brother or sister. Maybe you're dying to see the tip of your nose and can't be bothered to find a mirror. Or maybe you have other mysterious reasons. But if an adult sees eye-crossing action, he or she is likely to say, "Stop, your eyes might get stuck that way." While it's true that eyes are very sensitive and not to be messed with, crossing them won't do any harm. The tiny muscles that control your eye movement are strong and flexible. Crossing your eyes will tire the muscles, but that's it. All right, guys. This book, we have a glossary. So the first word in our glossary is carbohydrates. One of the 3 types of food that body break down to make energy. Cramp, a sudden pain in muscle. Digestive system, the system of body parts that turns food into simpler forms that body can use. Germ, a tiny living thing that causes disease. Nutrient, something the body can use to make energy. Protein, one of the 3 types of food that the body breaks down to make energy. Spine, your backbone. So the inside back cover says sharing germs. Why should you ever dip a chip twice? Ew, we can't share dip if you dip in mine twice. So in a word, germs. Scientists have studied the effects of double and triple dipping, and their findings aren't pretty or appetizing. They asked volunteers to bite into 6 crackers. Then the volunteers dipped each cracker into a different substance, including chocolate syrup, water, cheese dip, and salsa. Then each volunteer took another bite. They repeated the process several times. Then the volunteers dipped 6 fresh, unbitten crackers into the same substance and took a bite. Next, the scientists measured the amount of bacteria in the dip and in the volunteer's mouth. The findings might turn you off of dipping forever. On average, dipping a cracker 3 to 6 times transfer about 10,000 bacteria from the eater's mouth to the dip. Salsa picked up the most bacteria per dipping. Maybe you should stick to the olive bowl. Alright, like in the same video, like last week, I have 3 questions for you guys. So after each question, you can pause it, answer the questions with your family, or if you want, you can leave your response in the comments. So the first question is, why do you think the author wrote the book? Alright, your next question is, how did the author help you understand the section, "Why Can't I Swim After Eating?" And your last question is, what did you learn from reading this book? All right, guys, until next time, see you later. Be safe.